Hello everyone, Drudge here. Welcome back to another RuneScape video. First note, the first video for a giveaway today, well, it wasn't going to be a video, but the first event for a giveaway today actually didn't go. Nobody showed up, so we're not even going to worry about it for this month. All those bonds will be carried over to the Christmas event that is going to be coming up. Well, let's schedule it now. Okay, so the Christmas event will not be the weekend of Christmas. I don't want to do that because I don't want to interrupt any family holidays. So again, we'll go for the Saturday beforehand, which is the 17th of December, and we'll start it at 2300 game time yet again. But the location or the clue scroll might be way different. I will have more information for you guys on the 10th or the 11th. But that is actually going to be coming up, so that event will have actually 12 bonds for it instead of just the regular 6. So if one person shows up, guess what? You get all 12 feeder bonds for yourself. Otherwise, we're going into the Saturday suggestion vlog. Now, this week I decided I'm not going to go for just, one of my suggestions for the game. I'm actually going to look at some future game updates and some new game content suggestions. Now, the reason why I say future game updates is because sometimes people actually have some suggestions for updates that are coming up soon that is actually going to be something, I feel necessarily that might be an interesting thought. Looks like most of it's all on the mining and smithing rework or the Premier Club. So there's not really a whole lot of actual updates being broadcasted through there, other than what Jagged's official posts are. So we're going to go back into the suggestion area, and here we have a few things. And yes, there is something here by me, which if you guys wish to discuss in another video, I can discuss that. To me, it's actually a very good one, but that's not going to be the point of this video. So I want to take a few of these at random that the title kind of draws my attention in. Some of these look like they could be interesting. Others, I'm not quite sure why. But we're only going to go with a few at a time because some of these could be long. We're not going to go through them all if they're really long. But there's a Dungeoneering competitive mode. This actually kind of draws in my attention. They're saying that the Dungeoneering skill has been dead for quite a while. I don't know if I'd really agree to that, but they do have a good point. There is a lot of tokens that people could be spending. However, if you actually are doing things kind of decently, you could be using your invention skill with it. It's basically suggesting, sorry about that, Facebook post, but basically what they're suggesting is that you have two teams going against each other and you stake gold for it. And whoever gets there done first gets the whatever was staked. I don't really see this being necessarily something that people would need to do, as needing an actual outline, mostly because this is actually would be up to the people anyway. I don't know if there would be many people who would actually want to do this. Don't get me wrong, there would be some. I do like this guy's suggestion in some ways, but I just think it's too much of, they already have something like this and it's sinkholes, and it just doesn't quite fit up to what would be a worthwhile update for creating content. The Tardiad, I know I said that wrong, raids. There's already raids going on right now. The only issue I have with there being a new area for raids is because the current raid area is not completed. And granted, yes, I do agree 100% in time, this would be nice to have one in the elven area, as long as it fits within the story of the elves, of either past, present, or future. But the main thing of it is, to me personally, I think they need to be able to finish the current raid in RS3 before they move into a new raid. But it is a good idea to actually start maybe discussing branching it out more, because that'll actually bring in more people. The next one I want to go to is the Adventurers Guild. They're having a quest start for it, and I know a lot of people don't really care for quest starts. There's not too much information on like how you do anything. It's just saying what it is. And while that might be good, it's leaving a lot of room for suggestion and for interpretation. But oh, okay, right here he has a link, but the link is kind of broken due to censoring, making sure people are protected. It's probably .com, but I would love to see more information on that one. Okay, the Gauntlet. This one really draws my attention. They're saying another God War style dungeon, and it would have 4 bosses, and not really saying whether it has to be or doesn't have to be a god, related. But it looks like it is just, I don't know. It seems to be the same kind of thing that's already there, and not too much going on. It's kind of like, you go in, you fight one, you go in, you fight the next one, the next one, the next one. It's not bad. It's like basically if you would take Dungeoneering and then the next room after the first boss, instead of, going into the next dungeon, it's kind of like taking 4 Dungeoneering floors and just throwing them together. That's how I feel on it. But they're probably suggesting, like, you fight one boss, then the other boss, then the other boss, and then the other boss, which is kind of like a Raxor and Raxi. Just instead of just 2, it'd be 4. So, I mean, it would be kind of interesting, but I don't know if it would be too hard. But it does seem to be kind of interesting. Okay, reason for reports. They're saying about how they keep updating the rules, the offense system, and other things to keep out scammers and this and that. Yeah, this really isn't a suggestion too much. It is kind of like they want to expand upon the rules that are already in there. They're like the already designed content for wanting more information to be sent to Jaggets so they can actually read over it. But see, the thing of it is, the thing a lot of people don't understand is like how much information they actually already receive, and they take every case as a severe case. It's not just, oh, this person did this. It doesn't sound too big of a deal. No, they actually take every case seriously, especially when it comes to scammers. They usually go right to the top. Okay, so an Autosiphon mechanism. So basically it'd be similar, like they're saying right here, for similar bones to crush for the bone crusher and other things like that. That actually could be a good idea, but in some ways I think it takes away from, what's already in the game. But at the same time, you'd be taking what you're already probably making for the equipment siphon and having that on you. That actually could be an interesting update. So basically, what it is you would be going through, if you're not familiar with invention, you'd be leveling up your invention gear. And whatever level you set it to, that would be the max. It would automatically siphon the XP out of the items you have equipped or that is compatible with, which actually wouldn't be horrible. It'd actually be very good, especially if you're somebody who's just like, you're a hardcore in the Slayer and you're just constantly going to town on everything. So that actually has a lot of potential. Since it would mostly benefit, Slayers right now, I would maybe instead of suggesting, he's like saying about Dungeoneering, Arc, I would think this would actually need to be designed around a Slayer update because I think that is mainly the target there. So maybe something to do with Menaphos, which if you haven't seen like any information on that, it's basically going to be one big skilling area, but mostly a big thing around Slayer, as well as the release of 99 to 120 Slayer. So I think that's actually a pretty good idea. The Dwellberry Pie, it's the same thing as Redberry Pie, but instead of Redberry, it is the Dwellberry Pie. I mean, sure, it's not an update that seems kind of big to me, but it would be one of those little tiny small updates. Maybe it can link into a quest down the road, which actually wouldn't be too horrible. I mean, red berries are used in other stuff other than the red berry pies, and same goes for dwellberries. I mean, they have their different uses. The cheeseburger thing, I gotta check this out. They're saying that we should have cheeseburgers in the game. Uh, I mean, one person's saying why, but at the same time, it could be one of those fun little side things like they did with the bacon and how they did that. They did a few quests and it was kind of just, it was all in fun. So it'd be one of those kind of like small little fun updates, if you ask me. I mean, it could have potential to actually, it would actually give cabbage a use too, because, well, usually you do have lettuce, but cabbage is similar. So yeah, I could see that could be kind of interesting, could be kind of fun. Uh, a lot of people are saying there's not really a need for it, which no, there's not really a need, but you can't have all serious content all the time. You do need to have some fun updates. And well, I think that could be actually a fun one. Alright, well that'll do it for today's episode. I did actually have a different video I was trying to record earlier, because I know I did say I was going to do Bounty Hunter this weekend, but it turns out my recording didn't actually record when I was doing Bounty Hunter, and I ended up not getting anything recorded for it, and I ended up losing the PvP batch, so I ended up losing a lot of my ranged equipment, which normally isn't a big deal, and it really wasn't a big deal. It's just I don't have my ranged equipment, and I really don't want to keep risking too much equipment. I mean, granted, yes, I don't do a whole lot with my profile, but I really wouldn't like to sacrifice too much equipment in case there's some sort of big update down the road that I want to partake in. So we will find another way. Maybe I'll just go in with like full Black Dragon or full Royal Dragon and just have some fun with it. Get a crystal bow again, that kind of thing. Alright, well that'll do it for today's video though, so thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, if you have a suggestion, post it down below and let me know. We can feature you in next week's episode, so thank you so much for watching, and later guys.